Moist Critical is turning a lot of heads these days with his announcement of not just turning off monetization for donations specifically on his channel, but how he's actually showcasing his numbers of what he's making with YouTube, which I found absolutely fascinating. We're going to showcase this video here. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. I know not everyone likes Moist Critical these days, which is actually kind of surprising. I know he has the mantra of milk toast takes that are just very bland and straightforward, that the safe takes, stuff like that. Maybe, but I still find Charlie entertaining. I always have. Outside of his one error that I would say was a pretty big one, where it seemed like he was sympathizing with trans and kids, which he later corrected, to be fair for him, but still just in the moment did not rub me the right way. Outside of that, he's been solid. Let's see what he has to say regarding I'm not turning it back on.
I'd like to let you all know I've been actively working on my Mickey Mouse impression, so please let me know your thoughts. Pluto! So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you all of my analytics from my lifetime of being on YouTube and almost a decade of being on Twitch. Now, the reason for this is, a week ago I made a video called I'm Turning It Off, and in that video I'm explaining why I'm disabling any and all means of people having the ability to donate money to me. No more super chats, no more YouTube memberships, for all intents and purposes, no more bits on Twitch.
So on the surface, sounds like a very honorable thing to do. Like, oh damn, wow, that's crazy. I gotta say, from a personal perspective, and just talking to my buddy about this too, not recently, but like months and months ago, where he watches Dr. Disrespect and just thinks he's a very entertaining streamer. He doesn't keep up with the drama. He doesn't know anything about the bathroom situation or the PDF accusation or anything like that. He strictly just watches him for the entertainment value, and he thinks he's a fantastic streamer. And even he tells me, he's like, people are donating to him hundreds of dollars, like throughout a stream over and over again. He's just getting $100 Red Boy after Red Boy, $25, $50. Like it's just going like that's while he's streaming. He's racking it up like while he streams, like crazy, crazy money. And he says, why would people donate money to him? Like, I love him. He's great. But like, doesn't he already have a shitload of money? Like, I don't understand why people donate money to already rich celebrities that have a shit ton of money. And he's like, do you know why people do that? He said that to me. I was like, I never understood that myself. Like, I would much rather support a smaller channel. I feel like that the money goes so much further for a channel under 1,000 subs or a channel under 10,000 subs that's putting the effort in, putting the time in, that is genuinely entertaining. I feel like it would blow their mind to give them $100 Red Boy in a stream. Meanwhile, it's just blowing through on these bigger channels and they just don't even acknowledge it half the time. Or if they do, they're just like, oh, hey, thank you so much. And then they keep going back. Like, it's so, I will never understand it for the life of me. I guess the popular people it's a different world.
Intents and purposes, because you can't actually fully disable that on Twitch. Once you start streaming on there, you're fucking shackled to the bits ecosystem. It cannot be turned off. So I made the minimum.
That's crazy, by the way. Once you turn on bits, Twitch doesn't let you turn them off. That's crazy.
So high that no one can pay it, hopefully, and actively discouraging people from subbing on Twitch as well. Any and all avenues where people could just give me clams, I am just putting the kibosh on. I should have done this a long time ago, but better late than never. Might as well get the farty sharded now. The reason is super simple. I would much rather you keep your money. Use it for yourself or use it for things you deem important, whether it's charitable causes or what have you. But just stop forking it over to me. Now, since posting that video, there's been a lot of questions and even somewhat of a pushback from other streamers about how, like...
I don't understand the pushback on this. Like, that's always befuddled me. Like, if you're making so much money from ad revenue that you feel bad taking people's money because you know you have way more than they do, so it doesn't make you feel right, what's the problem here? I do not understand this, like, why people would be mad at this.
This sets a bad precedent where it like starts to shame other streamers if they don't follow.
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, I know he's just saying what they've said to him. I don't get that vibe at all. Now, maybe if this becomes a thing, then it might be a slippery slope where it turns into that again, because donating money on YouTube used to be frowned upon. And depending on what circles you run in these days, it still is frowned upon. But it's become far more widely accepted as time has gone on. And I could see some creators having concerns, being like, don't go down this road because we work so hard to get it not to be frowned upon. And you doing this might start to make people frown upon it again. So I could see that.
My footsteps here. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to make a rallying cry here. I'm not your dad. You do what you want with your own streams. Keep donations and subs on out the wazoo forever. I don't care. That's your prerogative. This was just my own personal decision. Obviously, that wasn't like the most prevalent take or anything, but it is a conversation I saw stirring about after I posted that video, because there are some streamers that believe that normal people having the ability to give them money helps them feel included in the community, part of the crew, part of the ship, and it's like integral to the streaming experience to be able to like sub and donate and things like that.
Well, that is the thing. Like people do, like even me, I like to donate to channels to feel like it's more being part of the ecosystem with the people. So I totally get that. But these are apples and oranges at this point. Like if you go to one of Charlie's streams, you can't even see the chat. It's basically like Asmongold. It's just flying. So donations are, you can't even notice them or acknowledge them. It's a different world. He's living on a different planet.
I've never really shared that perspective. I've always viewed streaming as content that you are providing to viewers for free. And if someone's nice enough to toss you a doubloon, you tip your fedora saying, "Holly jolly, thanks for the Reddit gold, kind stranger," and move on. But it's not an obligation, and no one should feel like they need to be able to give you money to be
unless you're DSP.
Included in the community. That feels very parasocial to me, but that's just my own view on it. But what I will tell you, breaking the magician's code here, there is no top streamer that needs your financial support to put food on the table.
It's very true. When he starts showing his financials, we'll get into a second here, it's going to expose a lot of big time streamers that definitely do not need to keep their super chats on, because you make ungodly amounts of money from ad revenue. Ungodly. We're talking like millions of dollars a month. Or sorry, no, a year. Sorry, not a month. God damn. That would be crazy. Maybe some of them do make $1 million a month, but millions of dollars a year, just in ad revenue alone.
Continue providing those streams for you. Also, the bulk of a streamer's income comes from ads in the first place. Anyway, though, I think this stems from people just not really knowing how much money a top streamer can make on Twitch, for example. So let me show you my analytics from my lifetime on Twitch. Now, Twitch analytics
By the way, I would be far more willing to show my analytics if I wasn't being actively sued right now. But because I'm being actively sued right now, I need to keep a lot more close to the vest, because I know there are people that are looking for anything on me. I've always approached my YouTube channel as being an open book to people. I really have. The lawsuit really forced me to change that perspective, unfortunately. It forced me to change how I approach things. And it makes me not feel like the way I want to be. I've always wanted to be fully transparent. That's what I want out of the game industry as well. Just be transparent. That's all I've ever asked for.
Little wonky here on the back end, so I wasn't able to just set the date range from 2017 to 2025 because it would just freeze. It would just have a conniption. I bet the Twitch HQ a server just...
What is this? $55,000 revenue? This is just for the year.
Fucking caught flame with me trying to do that, so I had to break it up into chunks. So in 2017 is when I really started like actually streaming on Twitch. I had dabbled in 2016, but it wasn't until 2017 where I got like partnered.
Oh shit. This was in 2017. Sorry. I was like, I thought he'd make more than that. 2017. Making 55. That's holy shit. That was a lot of money in 2017 too.
Everything. So from 2017 to 2019, I made $55,500 for those 2 years. And I wasn't full-time streaming at this point or anything. It was just a bit of goofing around, having some fun, and it brought in $55,500. From 2019 to 2021 is when I took it a lot more seriously, as you can see.
Wow.
My time streamed went from 600 hours on the 2 years to 3,600 hours, and I made $1.2 million for those 2 years. And this was before my Twitch contract, so the only ads that were running...
Holy... This is before his Twitch contract. So these are just basic ads that we're running, and he made almost $1.3 million just on Twitch, by the way. No YouTuber rate. This is just Twitch. Holy.
On my stream were like the pre-roll ads, are the ones that Twitch would insert themselves. So this was still without ads, by the way.
Kevio Serious Front Kick says 24-hour Smashcast incoming. Let's fucking go. I can match Charlie. I'm just never going to sleep, and I'm just going to always be streaming. I'm going to change the channel name to The Truman Show. I'm just going to be my life. I'm just here all the time. You know, the sad thing is, I still probably wouldn't make like 1/10 of what he made in a year. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
$0.2 million, almost 1.3. Then I got a Twitch contract which necessitated a certain amount of ad time per hour. And from 2021 to basically 2025, I made $4.1 million. And to those astute observers amongst you with those keen peepers, you might notice that my subscription...
Okay, it's on his channel. Okay, I'll check it. Thank you for the heads up on that. So 4,158,000 in the 3-year period. That's over $1 million a year. Wow.
Are less than half of what they were for the previous 2-year period. So even though I have 180,000...
Netflix says, Smash, do any of the streaming services let you go chasing the ads for your channel? Not that I know of.
Less subs across
Maybe. I haven't looked into it.
3 years than I did for the previous 2. I still made significantly more. And that is because of ads. Ads are the breadbasket to streamers. That is the jelly to the peanut butter sandwich that is streaming. And keep in mind, these numbers here, the 4.1, the 1.2, those don't even include brand deals or...
This is why he's so good at this, by the way. He's able to authentically represent himself just chatting to the camera, just like he's just like a dude. Like, this is the foundation of what YouTube is all about, is just being authentic about yourself to the camera, which you think is easy to do until you try to do it yourself. And it's like, holy shit, talking to a camera is really fucking hard.
For sponsorships, and I didn't have any like ancillary donations, but a lot of streamers do through like Streamlabs for like text-to-speech, stuff like that. So that doesn't include any of those other means of making money through the medium. This is solely through just Twitch itself. And I think something important to mention, contrary to popular belief, I am not a top streamer. I am also not even a full-time streamer, and I haven't been for over a year and a half. So my 2025 earnings, I didn't really put them here. It's about 100K. So another thing to add to the total here.
Exactly.
But I'm not even a full-time streamer anymore, and I haven't been a top 20 streamer probably since the fucking Among Us boom. You know, back in the prehistoric internet age now.
So basically what he's doing right now is calling out how there's a lot more people out there making a lot more money than he does.
Like, the Among Us era is the only time where I broached like the top 20. I've not been in that ball game.
You see, this is the thing. This is what gets people. People that don't do YouTube, don't do Twitch, don't do streaming. They see a video like this and they get so energized and empowered to be like, I'm going to start my own channel. If there's one bit of advice I give everyone, never start a channel based off of thinking that you will be this. You will not. I promise you. And maybe you can prove me wrong, but I will make that bet, and I will come out on top overall, because for every one Moist Critical, there's hundreds of thousands of people that no one's ever even heard of.
For a while, and yet this is still a crazy amount of money, where there is no reason I should be taking money from just normal people working normal, everyday jobs. It just doesn't feel right to me. Streaming is the easiest job there is. Hot take.
I know, it's very true, by the way. It's very true. It's very easy to do, but it's also not something that everyone can do. It's easy to do if you've grown your brand and put the hard work behind the scenes into getting it to the place where you can just stream. People think you can just turn the camera on and just be like, oh, I can just stream and make a shitload of money. It's like, no. You guys like I've said this before too. You guys may or may not know. There's hours and hours and hours of work that goes into every stream before I even click go live every single night to make it organized and be like, okay, this is what we're talking about. These are the checklists, the things I want to go through. I want to make sure I hit this, this, and this. If I have time, I want to hit this, this, and this. And that's also because you're also online all day. What's going on? I got to keep into it. Like this is a full-time 24/7. You wake up in the middle of the night, you got to check your phone to see if there's anything crazy. These are the things you need to do. It's a life commitment to do this. So the money looks great if you make it, but then you have no time to even spend the money. Look at Asmongold. He's just like, I don't even care about the money. I just love to stream. That's what it comes down to. You have to love what you do.
I know, sorry, that was a blistering, scolding magma that I just spewed out there, but it is just the truth. I sit in swamp ass for a few hours every day, well, at least I used to when I was a full-time streamer, playing games, or just yapping. Now compare that Weenie Hut Jr. routine to a normal person who is actually working their...
I would actually, hold on, Jay Zenom. I would push back on this. Like, streaming is not that hard. I agree. But you say you just have to have nothing better to do. I think that's actually the hardest part about streaming. It's finding the time, because streaming will take hours of your life away. So you better love doing it, because otherwise your day turns into, instead of 24 hours in a day, it turns into you have 18 hours in a day or 16 hours in a day. And the rest of it's filled up with streaming. So you better love doing it. It might be easy, but your day is gone. Your day is shot from it if you're doing it all the time. That's probably, honestly, the hardest part about it is dealing with time lost in your life from it. So I can tell you, I have much better things I could be doing sometimes, like with my family, I guess you could say. That's why I stream as late as I do, because I want to spend time with my family as much as I can. And it eats away at my sleep, but it's like, this is the only time I can do it. And then I got to take naps during the day when they're at school, because there's no way you can do this.
Every single day in a 9-to-5 environment, grinding in the hopes of chasing the American dream. And then they'll come home, maybe turn on my stream and donate a couple of dollars to me. And it just doesn't sit right with me taking that kind of money, given what I've made from all of this. And I really should have just stopped this a long time ago, especially considering this is just the Twitch side of things. I told you, I'm going to show you my YouTube earnings. So
the YouTube earnings are massive. The Twitch is nothing compared to it.
Be ready, because here it is. Huge fucking number, an unfathomable amount of money.
So 35.8, so almost $36 million lifetime. $36 million. And most of that in the past 5 years, by the way. So, I mean, do the math on that. We're talking about $7 million a year just from YouTube alone. With everything else, he's making on average probably $10 million a year. That's more than some professional NBA players make. I'd argue more than many professional NBA players make. That's crazy.
From starting this channel in 2007 all the way until today, I have made $35.8 million. I never even imagined that amount of money was possible to earn without just being born rich. I have said from day one, I got incredibly lucky. I will never be able to put into words just how lucky I got with all of this shit here. I'm not special. I got lucky. I have always said that, and I still believe that.
That's honestly, that's the only way, is to get lucky. Obviously, you have to be talented, but there's so many very talented creators out there that don't get lucky. I don't know what separates who from what. I remember I was streaming with V the other day on his channel, and he's like, I keep seeing you everywhere. That's how I learned about you, is you were just everywhere. And I kept saying to myself, who the fuck is this Smash JT? You know how he talks with his voice. Who the fuck is this Smash JT? Why do I keep saying Smash JT everywhere? Who the fuck is this guy? And he says, who are you? And why are you showing up everywhere? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I'll take it. Okay. I don't understand how it works. If there was a silver bullet to say, this is what you do to make it, everyone would do that. And then the hole would get jammed with people and nobody would get through. which is kind of what it feels like it's turned into. But yeah, it's just luck at the end of the day. I know I need to get V in here. I told him it's just the time difference with him is hard. But he did say he would join me one of these streams. I fucking love V. He's awesome. Yes, I did tell V I love his accent, by the way. Yeah.
To this day. Now, something I saw a lot of people asking after the video I made about turning off all the donation stuff is how much money I'm leaving on the table. And while it's kind of hard.
So this tells you all you need to know. It's not some, oh man, look at me doing the right thing or whatever. This is like still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. $500,000 is a shitload of money. But relative to $35 million, it doesn't sit well with him at night, knowing that people are grinding away every single day, throwing a dollar poop emoji to him, or $2 to him, or $5 to him. Or sometimes I've noticed too, by the way, some of the most hard-pressed, down on their luck, poorest people are the ones that empty their fucking wallets for streamers. And it breaks my heart because they just want to get noticed. They just want to form a bond with people. And I'm always just like, please keep your money. Enjoy the program. Enjoy the chat. Have a conversation. It is free. I don't make my streams members only. I don't make anything. I don't block anything off. I never wanted to turn into that. I never did want it to turn into that. I always wanted to build a community where people could just hang out and chat. If people who can afford it wanted to throw me a buck or two, great. That's awesome. If we can hit a tier, great. That's awesome. If we can't, guess what? We still stream. We still got topics out. I still can make videos on it. And we still had a great time overall. At the end of the day, if you're not having fun with what you're doing and you're doing it for the money, you're going to be so miserable, you are going to quit before you even start.
Hard to show it on Twitch considering both subs and bits are technically still on, even though I discourage both and have bits at a point where I don't think it's even possible to use them. I still can't get like a hard number on what's like gone now or anything like that, but on YouTube I can show you directly. So with memberships and supers / gifts, I made over $1 million. Keep in mind, I've only had those things enabled for about a year. So it was $1 million in a year from just normal people donating it to me. Again, that just doesn't fucking sit right with me.
Crazy.
Now I know there are plenty of streamers and YouTubers that have significantly more money than me and have subs and donations on and whatever. I don't care. Like I said, this is not me trying to lead some kind of revolution here where all of them turn it off. It's their choice to make. I wanted to explain fully why I don't want normal people just giving me their money anymore at all. Also, to be honest, I think just full goatseeing, showing how much streaming / YouTubing can make, just showing you the full, unedited, raw numbers is probably helpful for normal people so they can see how much money is in this space, because I think there's often so many question marks from people wondering how much does a streamer or YouTuber make? They'll either say like they're making billions of dollars.
The problem that I have with this video, it's not Charlie's fault, but it's kind of like a microcosm of the ripple effect from doing this, is it once again spins up the people that don't do this think that everyone that does this makes that money. It's like, I can promise you we don't, okay? Maybe someday that would be amazing. Holy shit, that would be great. But it kind of reminds me of like the, you know, those articles that used to come out with the, oh my God, I checked my parents' attic and we had a sealed stadium events on the NES and they sold it for whatever the fuck those go for, $300,000 or whatever. Oh my God. And then everyone thinks that their Nintendo games are all worth $300,000. I'm like, they're not. That's not how this works. All the games are different price, different conditions, different parts. And there's only a few astronauts. Not everyone can be an astronaut. Remember that moving forward.
They're making nothing. There's never like an in-between because there's never any like really hard numbers to look at. So I think something like this can be helpful for that, especially because over the years I've noticed there's been a multitude of creators that have come out and tried to like underplay how well off they are financially because they believe it could be somewhat of a brand risk where if they are perceived as being someone that's very rich, well, maybe their audience wouldn't like them as much because they're no longer relatable. It's just something I've seen here and
Yep.
over the years from a bunch of different creators, and I just find it a bit disingenuous. So hopefully something like this can help show that if someone is in like the top,
This, by the way, this took some balls to do for him. Not necessarily turning off the super chats and stuff, but by like showing how much money he's made, it puts him out there for being like, oh, people might subconsciously be like, oh, he's good, I don't need to pay attention to him anymore. I mean, not saying that's what people will do, but I'm sure that's a thought that went through his mind when he went with this video and this idea to do this. That's a concern, a genuine concern.
sphere of YouTube or Twitch, they are very, very well off financially. Anyway, though, if you add both of these numbers up, I've made a total of $41.3 million. But that's not to say that's what I have. Now,
Wait,
I
did you
do
say
live in
44?
Florida. I've made a total of $41.3 million.
Or $41.3 million, which, to be fair, means that he's probably cleared about 25 million after taxes. That's I mean, it's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but just remember, taxes take about 35-40%, and your top tax bracket like this, they're taking what, 42% between state and federal, if that, says Weecho. Yeah, it might be like closer to like 22%, 22 million.
Dollars. But that's not to say that's what I have. Now, I do live in Florida, which means there is no individual income tax.
Oh, it's the tax, okay.
Big time Florida W right there. And I know, I'm big time gushing grannies, Florida glazer. I've lived here my whole life, and that is something very nice about it. But it's not to say that the tax man comes in gentle with the lube. He still goes whole hog raw. It is still brutal when the tax man comes a knocking. He'll blow.
I've told you guys the story about when I came into a lot of money with the GameStop situation. That was that 5 years ago now? 4 years ago? It was upwards of close to $1 million that I made. Yeah. I made almost $1 million off of GameStop. I don't know if I ever told people that, but I made a lot of money off of GameStop. And what I didn't realize at the time was how much taxes actually hit, because I was like, oh, I can buy this, I can buy that, I got this, I got that. Toxin says I did. Okay. I didn't put 2 and 2 together with the math on how fast the money comes in and how fast it goes. And I ended up owing the tax man almost $500,000. It was, I've never paid a bigger tax bill in my life. I'm like, holy fuck. So when I take it personal, when I see people on like the living off the tax money, living off the state, I'm like, that's my fucking money. Do something, work, go get off your ass. It was, yeah, exactly. California. It's Florida would have done me some favors if I lived in Florida instead of California. But yeah, it was funny too, because it's like people think that's so much money. Guys, yes, it is a lot of money, but not in California. I mean, when you're talking cash, at the end of the day, I think it was close to like $380,000 after taxes. Still a lot of money, but really doesn't take you that far. Goes pretty quick. You want to put it towards your mortgage. You want to put it towards your debts. I paid off the Sienna that we had. We had a Toyota Sienna with a car payment that was like $500 a month, and we just bought the car. And I told my wife, I'm going to pay this car off. And she's like, you serious? I was like, yeah, I made some good money on GameStop and I can pay it off. And she knew I was doing good with GameStop, but until we actually rubber to the road with the money, it didn't feel real. I'm like, I just took the money I made, or should I say won, in GameStop, because it feels like a bet at this point. And I put it into paying off our Sienna, paying off our car payments, putting money towards our mortgage, putting money towards our kids and their college funds, putting money in all these other places. The money was fucking gone in like a year and a half, gone instantly. Boom. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So it goes so quick. It goes so quick. So people are like, oh my God, you have so much money. It's like, well, I mean, I'm in debt still. We still have a mortgage. I didn't pay off our house yet completely. Money goes really fast, but people hear that and they think you have so much money. It's like, no, you don't. And they don't realize taxes take so much of that. And this is why I say too all the time. It's like, I feel like I learned a lot with that situation financially, where I'm like, if I were to ever come into that kind of money again, I feel like I would handle it so much better. So much better. I wasn't bad with it per se, but I feel like I would have reinvested it. I would have made more. I wouldn't have just put it towards low interest loans. I would have done more to make more out of it. But hey, I mean, it is what it is.
And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. Obviously, a good chunk instantly goes to taxes. There's also like salaries for the people that I pay on my team, other expenses, and also for the first 4 to 5 years of me earning money through my YouTube channel, I donated every single dollar to charity. So while I may have earned $41 million over the course of my time online, I don't have nearly that much. But I still have more money than I will ever know what to fully do with. And I actually thought it would be kind of fun to go through like a deep dive on what it looks like. You know, taxes, expenses, all that kind of thing to see.
Maybe after the lawsuit's over, if it gets thrown out and Alyssa owes me all the money back, maybe I will go through and show you guys all the money I've made in the history of the channel. Maybe I'll do that after all that. If it gets tossed out and she owes me the money back. Because honestly, at this point, I feel like if she gets any information, it can and will be used against me in a court of law. So it's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to divulge. Unfortunately, I need to keep my cards closer to my vest right now.
See how it all breaks down, but maybe that's a topic best left for a different video. So for now, I'll probably just conclude it here. Hopefully this was insightful. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
So great video by Charlie. Very relatable and honest. And I know people have their feelings. A lot of people don't like them. I don't have any issues outside of the ones I already mentioned. And I think this is a massive W just to like kind of expose just the situation. I don't understand the people throwing red boys at these massive channels. Like they don't even notice it. I will for the life of me not get it. But it happens and it will always happen. And it's, by the way, by the way, here's the other thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing to do it. I just don't understand it. That's all. But I'll leave it there.